Okay, so welcome to another deep dive. As always, we love getting your requests. And this one's been popping up a lot in our inbox lately.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about a supposed secret mission after Apollo 17. Like, did we really stop at Apollo 17?
Right.
Or is there something more to the story?
A lot of whispers about that.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so intriguing. We're going all in on the Apollo 20 conspiracy theory.
Apollo 20, huh?
You got it.
Okay.
The theory claims that the US and the Soviets teamed up for a secret mission to the far side of the moon.
Secret mission to the far side.
Yeah, and they were supposedly going to check out an alien spacecraft.
Whoa, hold on. So we're talking like aliens here.
That's the gist, yeah.
Okay, so we have Apollo missions officially ending with 17.
Right.
And then this theory pops up saying there's this hush-hush, Apollo 20.
Right.
And it's not just any mission, they're going after an alien spacecraft.
Exactly.
Now, that's a story.
It is, and it's stuck around for years.
I bet.
So let's dig into it. What are the key things that make up this Apollo 20 theory?
Well, the heart of it is this alleged crashed spacecraft on the far side of the moon.
Oh, okay.
Call it Monolito sometime.
Monolito.
And the theory says the US and the Soviets, during the Cold War, put their differences aside
Wow.
to study this potential alien tech together.
Like a joint operation to investigate the unknown?
Exactly.
Pretty wild.
It is. And then there's the whole timeline thing.
Right. Why keep it a secret?
I go after Apollo 17 was officially the end.
Yeah, what was so important that they had to keep it under wraps?
Lots of questions there.
So we've got this secret mission, Apollo 20,
Right.
joint US-Soviet operation to investigate Monolito,
Monolito, the alien spacecraft.
and a huge emphasis on a cover-up.
Huge.
Like they're actively trying to hide the evidence.
Some serious cloak and dagger stuff.
Yeah, so let's talk about the evidence.
Okay, what do they have?
Well, we've got the classic blurry photos and videos.
The blurry photo classic.
You know, grainy, low-resolution stuff.
Right.
That supposedly show the spacecraft, the moon's surface, even some shots of the inside.
Interesting. You know, it makes you think, why are these images always so blurry?
Yeah, right.
Like, you'd think if someone was leaking top secret evidence, they'd have something clearer.
Good point.
But then again, maybe that fuzziness is part of what keeps the mystery alive.
How so?
Well, the less you can actually see, the more you can imagine.
People fill in the blanks with their own ideas.
Exactly. It's like a Rorschach test for UFO enthusiasts.
I like that. So blurry pictures aside, what else is there?
Well, we've got these personal accounts from people claiming they were involved.
The insider stories.
Yeah, they often give specific details about the mission, what they found inside the spacecraft, the whole cover-up operation.
Like first-hand accounts to add weight to the theory?
Right. It's like they're saying, I was there, I saw it all.
And that can be really persuasive, especially if someone's looking for proof.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have to be cautious with these personal stories.
Of course, why is that?
Well, memories can be tricky, especially after so many years.
Right, they can get distorted.
Exactly. Plus, sometimes people might exaggerate or even fabricate stories for attention or who knows, maybe even money.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is needed.
Definitely corroboration is key,
Oh.
you know. Is there any other evidence to back up these claims?
That's a good point, and it brings us to another piece of the puzzle.
Okay, what's that?
The supposed discrepancies in NASA's official records.
What kind of discrepancy?
Things like missing mission designations or gaps in the timelines.
I see.
And proponents of the theory say this is intentional. You know, like NASA's trying to erase any trace of Apollo 20.
So they're saying that the missing pieces are proof of a cover-up.
Exactly.
Interesting. It really shows you how distrustful some people are of official narratives.
Oh yeah, it's a common theme in a lot of conspiracy theories.
Definitely any little inconsistency can be seen as evidence of a big lie.
Right, even if there's a simple explanation.
Exactly. It becomes they're hiding something.
Okay, so we've covered blurry photos, personal accounts, and gaps in official records. What else?
Well, there's also the whole thing about lunar anomalies.
Oh yeah, those weird shapes and structures in the moon photos.
Right. Some people look at those and see evidence of alien activity or even the crashed spacecraft itself.
Like artificial structures that couldn't have formed naturally.
Right.
But how do we know what's natural and what's not on the moon?
Well, that's where scientific analysis comes in. A lot of these so-called anomalies can actually be explained by natural processes.
Like what?
Well, think about the moon's geology, the way shadows look in low gravity, even the limitations of the cameras back then.
So things might look weird but actually have a simple explanation.
Exactly. It's easy to jump to conclusions, especially when we're dealing with the unknown.
That's true, and sometimes we see patterns where none exist.
Our brains are wired for that.
Okay, so lots of evidence, but also lots of potential for misinterpretation.
Right.
Now, here's a thought. Some people point out that NASA hasn't really come out and strongly denied Apollo 20.
So they're taking the silence as confirmation.
Yeah, like no comment equals it's true.
It's a classic conspiracy theory tactic.
Right.
But, government agencies don't always respond to every little rumor.
True. It can give those rumors more attention than they deserve.
Exactly. And then it just fuels the fire.
So we've laid out the basics of the Apollo 20 theory and the evidence that supports it.
Yep.
But what about the other side?
Yeah. Why do so many people, especially in the scientific community, dismiss this whole thing?
Well, a big reason is the lack of solid verifiable evidence.
You mean like evidence that can be tested and confirmed by multiple sources?
Exactly.
Right, and that's kind of the cornerstone in science.
Right. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence.
Exactly. And with Apollo 20, we're relying on anecdotal accounts and blurry photos.
Which, as we discussed, can be unreliable or misinterpreted.
Right. And a lot of that visual evidence has been debunked.
Like those videos and photos that turned out to be hoaxes.
Yeah, some of them were even lifted from sci-fi movies or taken in locations here on Earth.
Clever editing can do a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that low resolution isn't about age or secrecy.
Right.
It's about hiding the flaws in the fake.
Makes sense.
So what about those lunar anomalies?
Are those proof of something?
Well, scientists have studied lunar geology and photography extensively.
Yeah.
And they say most, if not all of those anomalies can be explained naturally.
Rock formations, shadows, even glitches in the cameras.
It's all about perspective.
It is, and we have to remember we have decades of lunar data from multiple missions.
Right.
And none of it points to a giant alien spaceship.
Good point. But still, why does this theory have such a hold on people?
Well, there's something inherently fascinating about the unknown.
Right.
The possibility of alien life, secret missions to the moon.
It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah. And people love a good mystery.
Plus, there's that distrust of authority that we talked about earlier.
Right, the idea that governments are hiding something big from us.
And in some cases, they do.
True, which makes these cover-up theories seem plausible.
Yeah, and social media can amplify those theories, creating echo chambers where they just keep bouncing around.
Definitely, it's easy to get caught up in it.
So we have this mix of fascination, distrust, and unverified evidence.
And that's a recipe for a compelling conspiracy theory.
It is, but what are the dangers of believing in something like Apollo 20?
Well, one big concern is the erosion of trust in science.
How so?
If people believe that scientists and government agencies are constantly lying to them,
Right.
it makes it hard to accept any scientific findings.
Like, why believe anything they say?
Exactly, and that can have real-world consequences.
Right. It undermines the whole foundation of scientific inquiry.
Yeah, and it can also detract from the genuine achievements of the Apollo program.
Oh, absolutely.
Those missions were incredible feats of engineering and human courage.
They were.
And getting caught up in conspiracy theories can make us forget that...
It's like we're so focused on what might be hidden that we miss the amazing things that are right in front of us.
That's a good way to put it.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive into the Apollo 20 conspiracy. What's the takeaway?
Well, I think it's a reminder that even in the age of information,
Right.
we need to be careful about what we believe.
Critical thinking is crucial.
It is, and it's about finding that balance between our sense of wonder
Right.
and our commitment to facts.
The universe is full of mysteries,
Oh yeah,
but we shouldn't let those mysteries blind us to the truths we can discover.
that's a great point.
So as you continue your own explorations, keep asking questions. Stay curious, but also stay critical.
Right.
And always remember the power of evidence-based thinking. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a fascinating one.
It has, and as always, we encourage you to keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts, your own research. Let's explore the universe together. Until next time.